Have you ever felt that revealing your vulnerabilities invites cruelty from others? An unfortunate paradox in our society is that showing our weaknesses often leads to others taking advantage of them. This behavior, driven by envy or a desire for power, is sadly prevalent in many social spheres. It can stifle personal growth in various settings, from the workplace to our circle of friends, and even within our families. However, there's a counterintuitive approach to this problem. By learning to protect our vulnerabilities, we paradoxically become stronger. It's akin to the concept of resilience, which isn't about not having weaknesses, but rather knowing how to effectively manage them. So, how do we do this? Let's take a lesson from nature. Imagine yourself as a sturdy tree in a storm, deeply rooted and unwavering despite the chaos. The leaves may flutter, the branches might sway, but the trunk remains firm. This silent resilience is what we aim to cultivate. Now, picture this resilience as a serene light guiding your path. Imagine 18 beacons of wisdom, each a Stoic principle attributed to Epictetus, a philosopher of great renown. These principles aren't just philosophical musings. They are practical tools to master our fate amidst the chaos of life. First, we adopt a listening ear, heeding others' voices over our own incessant chatter. We anticipate adversity, preparing our spirits for resilience, and embrace failure as a catalyst for growth. We stay wary of fortune's pitfalls, diversifying our hopes rather than pinning them on a single dream. We contemplate mortality, finding wealth in contentment and cultivating humility. We reject guilt, focusing on rectifying mistakes without self-flagellation. We surround ourselves with positivity, owning our reactions and fulfilling our duties without expectation of reward. These are just a few of the principles we'll burrow into. Let's immerse ourselves in these principles, tuning out distractions. Principle 1. Listen twice as much as you speak. In the clamor of modern life, we often prioritize our own voices, neglecting the wisdom of others. Recall the gift of 2 ears and 1 mouth. Heed the voices around you, absorb their wisdom, and let it guide your path. Moving to Principle 2, anticipate the worst. This may seem counterintuitive, but Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, encourages us to imagine the worst-case scenarios. It's not about fostering negativity. It's about preparing our spirits for resilience. When we've already faced our fears in our minds, reality often proves less daunting. Next, Principle 3, embrace failure as a stepping stone. Missteps and blunders are inevitable parts of life, but rather than avoiding them, we should embrace them. Each stumble is an opportunity for growth, a lesson in disguise. Remember, it's the pebbles in our path that shape us, not the smooth road. Principle 4 advises us to be wary of the pitfalls of fortune. Wealth, while not inherently evil, can corrupt. It can attract opportunists and erode moral values. So, tread cautiously on the path of fortune, ensuring it doesn't compromise your integrity. Our 5th principle is to diversify your hopes. Putting all your eggs in one basket is a risky strategy. If that one dream fails, the fall can be devastating. Instead, spread your aspirations. Cultivate multiple dreams, so that if one fails, others remain to lift your spirits. Lastly, Principle 6, contemplate mortality. It might sound grim, but acknowledging the inevitability of death can lend perspective to life's priorities. It reminds us of our transient existence and encourages us to focus on what truly matters. And so we've explored the first 6 principles of Stoicism, guiding us towards a life of resilience and wisdom. Listening, anticipating, embracing, being wary, diversifying, and contemplating. These are not just principles, but stepping stones to a fulfilling life. Contemplating mortality lends perspective to life's priorities. Principle 7. Find wealth in contentment. True wealth is not measured by monetary riches or material possessions. It's found in the heart, in gratitude, and in the appreciation of what we have. It's in the moments of joy, the laughter of a child, the warmth of a friend. It's in the peace of a quiet morning and the beauty of a sunset. This is where true wealth lies. Moving on to Principle 8, cultivate humility. To learn, we must first acknowledge our ignorance. We must set aside our ego, our preconceived notions, and open our minds to new ideas and experiences. Humility is not weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to admit we don't know everything and the courage to continue learning. Principle 9 talks about rejecting guilt. Guilt is a heavy burden that drags us down. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, we should focus on learning from them and moving forward. Let go of guilt and replace it with a commitment to do better. Next, Principle 10 encourages us to surround ourselves with positivity. Positivity is infectious. When we surround ourselves with positive people, their energy rubs off on us and we become more positive in turn. So, choose your company wisely, for it greatly influences your mood and outlook. Principle 11 is about owning your reactions. We may not have control over what happens to us, but we do have control over how we react. Our reactions shape our reality more than the events themselves. So, choose your reactions wisely, for they determine the course of your life. Lastly, Principle 12, fulfill your duties without expectation of reward. The true reward of any action lies in the action itself, not in what we get in return. When we contribute to society out of a genuine desire to help, we find a sense of fulfillment that no external reward can match. Contribution to society should stem from intrinsic motivation. Principle 13, disregard those who hate you. Hatred is a venom that poisons both the hater and the hated. You can't control how others perceive you, but you can control your reaction to their animosity. Disregard the hate. It's not a measure of your worth, but a reflection of their insecurities. Moving on to Principle 14, simplify your life. Complexity often breeds stress and confusion. Strip away the unnecessary. Embrace frugality and minimalism, not as a deprivation, but as a means to focus on what truly matters. A simplified life is a serene life. Principle 15 encourages us to guard our emotional sovereignty. Just as a fortress guards against invaders, we must protect our emotional landscape from external influences. Don't allow others' opinions or actions to dictate your feelings. You are the master of your inner world. Next is Principle 16, treasure true friendships. Genuine friendships are like rare treasures. They are not swayed by the winds of fortune or the tides of time. Nurture these relationships, for they provide a pillar of support and a reservoir of joy in the journey of life. Principle 17, find opportunity in adversity. Each challenge is a disguised opportunity, a chance for growth and learning. Embrace adversity, don't resist it. It's the friction that sharpens the blade, the fire that tempers the steel. And finally, Principle 18, release control over the uncontrollable. Life is inherently unpredictable. We can't control every aspect of our existence, and trying to do so only breeds frustration and despair. Instead, focus on what you can change. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. The serenity to accept what we cannot change, the courage to change what we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's the essence of Stoic philosophy. And with that, we conclude our exploration of Epictetus's principles. Remember, these are not just philosophical musings, but practical guidance for navigating life's trials with resilience and grace. Focus on what you can change, and surrender the rest to fate. These Stoic principles offer more than philosophical musings. They are the compass guiding us through life's stormy seas, the sturdy trunk that remains unwavering amidst the harshest of winds. They are the silent whispers of wisdom that teach us to turn our vulnerabilities into strengths, to shape our destiny with resilience and grace. Let's take a moment to reflect on these principles. We've learned to listen more than we speak, to anticipate the worst, while embracing failure as a stepping stone. We've understood the pitfalls of fortune and the importance of diversifying our hopes. We've contemplated mortality, found wealth in contentment, and cultivated humility. We've learned to reject guilt, focusing instead on rectifying our mistakes. We've recognized the value of surrounding ourselves with positivity and owning our reactions. We've understood the significance of fulfilling our duties without the expectation of reward, and the futility of dwelling on resentment. We've discovered the peace that simplicity brings, the importance of guarding our emotional sovereignty, and the endurance of true friendships. We've seen how adversity can be a wellspring of opportunity, and the wisdom in releasing control over the uncontrollable. These principles are not mere words. They are tools we can use each day to navigate life's trials. They are the seeds that, when planted within us, can grow into a life of purpose and wisdom. They are the teachings that help us not just to survive, but to thrive. In the end, it's not about the storm we face, but how we face the storm. It's not about the trials we endure, but how we endure them. It's about finding that serene light within us and letting it guide our path. By internalizing these teachings, we transcend mere survival, embracing a life of purpose and wisdom. We become the sturdy tree, deeply rooted, unaffected by the storm's fury, standing tall and resilient, ready to face whatever life throws our way. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment below and please subscribe for more daily content.